Hey, Two Cows Gaming fans. Today we are talking about one of my favorite genres of video games, tactical RPGs. We got a great show lined up, and I can't wait to get into it. So, without further ado, let's go. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. We have arrived at episode 5, the tactical RPG episode. But before we get into the games that I'm going to talk about today and the gameplay that I'm going to talk about today, I want to do a little bit of house cleaning. If you look in the bottom description of this video or of this audio podcast, you will find some helpful links to my website, to my YouTube channel, to my TikTok, and my Facebook. Please go check that out. And if you're really feeling generous, go hit us up on the merchandise channel, or website, I should say. We've got t-shirts, sweatshirts, coffee mugs, pretty much anything that you would be interested in purchasing to support Two Cows Gaming. Now, one real quick note of that, every dime that gets generated through the merch store gets dumped right back into the show, and we will be using that to pay for additional equipment and also video games that we'd like to play. But just a little bit of housekeeping there. Also, today, Dom Cow is over on his computer, so you may hear some background noise as he's playing Baldur's Gate 3. But that's all I got for news and kind of, well, not really news, but kind of like housekeeping. We're going to skip the news segment today. I want to get into the games and the 5 games that I want to talk a little bit about. And then after that, we will jump into the game that I'm going to play today, which is one that's very near and dear to my heart. We're going to talk about Front Mission First Remade. And it's a lot of fun. I really like it. It's got an awesome graphical update for the Xbox Series X, so we're going to play that, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the game while I play. So with that, we are going to jump into the 5 games I want to talk about today. Alright, so today I picked out 5 tactical RPGs that I really love to play, and I've been playing a lot over the last month or two. They're not always the most popular games, but these were ones that really kind of hit home for me. The first one I want to talk about is going to be Gears Tactics. It is based in the Gears of War universe, and you assemble a squad of cogs to fight the grubs and the various monsters in the Gears of War universe. You can have up to 4 characters in your squad per mission. They have different abilities and strengths. You also get access to Jack, the robot assistant. The first thing I want to let you know is that it was released in 2020. It takes place 1 year after Emergence Day. For those of you that are fans of the Gears of War universe, that's when the grubs first made their appearance and started attacking the human settlements. It does take place before the original Gears of War game, but the visuals are all the same. I mean, it uses the same graphics, same assets that set that game apart. All of your popular and favorite enemies are in the game. You can also gear up your cogs with different gear, different weapons, and different items to benefit them on their missions. They level up as you play. So with that, you get to spend skill points just like you would in other tactical RPGs to improve the abilities of your cogs. So, like with Diaz, who's your main character in this game, he is a support unit. So you can spend points to increase his healing and his area of effect healing to benefit your squad in battles, especially tight battles. With Sid, you can upgrade his. He's a vanguard, so you can upgrade his movement and you can upgrade his melee attacks so that he's more effective out on the battlefield. He also gets intimidate, and he has a self regeneration, which makes a big difference in those tight fights. It is a isometric kind of top-down hybrid, You can rotate the camera around the battlefield so you can see what you're looking at. The cinematics are absolutely fantastic to set up the battles. You know, I can't say enough about this game, and I never really did complete it when I first started playing it. It was just one of those games that I played for a bit. I thought, oh, this is kind of novel. I really kind of dug it, but then I got sidetracked playing other games and being a dad, and I had real life kind of intrude, so it kind of got away from me. But over the last couple of weeks, I've been playing it a lot more, and I'm gonna commit myself to beating it over the next month because I'm really enjoying the story. I'm really enjoying the different interactions with the characters and the different missions that you have to take on in this game. So if you haven't tried it, it is on PC Game Pass right now, and it is also included in Game Pass Ultimate, so you can download it. It's included in your membership. No worries, no fuss. Just download it, give it a play, and if you don't like it, uninstall it. But there are also plenty of Xbox achievements that you can unlock for those of us that are Xbox players. You know, it's just a fun game. You just kind of get absorbed back into that universe, but with a different kind of feel to it. So that's all I'm going to say about Gears Tactics. The next game I want to talk about is the Dealfield Chronicle. Now, this is a Squeenix game, and it combines elements of a tactical RPG with real-time strategy. Much like other tactical RPGs, you have several different units you can bring into your group. They level up, you develop them how you want to develop them, you can spend points on different abilities. The thing that really makes this game stand out, though, is the summoning. It uses a lot of the same summons or similar summons to the Final Fantasy series, and the visuals are top-notch. All of the cinematics are voiced, so the voice acting is actually very good. You know, the person-to-person dialogue when you're going around the base that you're at, the estate that you're at, where your army is based, that's kind of plain Jane, and it's very limited, but visually, the attacks and the different abilities for each of the characters is really top-notch. You have archers, you have mages, you have assassins, you have cavalry, and they all have their own unique abilities based on their profession. And as you level up, you can further develop their profession and their skills to specialize in different things. So you're constantly kind of tweaking with different, and you want to build different combinations that work well together. For example, right now on screen you can see that I'm casting the meteor fall spell, but then I'd like to follow that up with my assassin's leaping strike, because then you get kind of that whole big area effect damage multiple times. Archers are good for softening things up at long range, and then the cavalry can go in and break ranks, because a lot of the paths on the different maps have barricades, and they have different foes that block your path, and you can use the cavalry to break that blockade, and it's very effective. And then, of course, you have different summoning orbs. You start out with Bahamut, and then you get several others throughout the adventure. I just acquired one called Salamander, and I can't wait to try that one out. And then also, as you progress in the game, you can do research for spells, armor, and you can actually research improvements to your summoning orbs. On the battlefield, there's different treasures that you can find that are kind of like bonuses as you adventure across the map, but a lot of the maps when you're on there fighting have a time constraint. So you have so many turns to make it to, or so many minutes to get to the exit, or there's a lot of escort missions, and there's a lot of rescue missions, and so there is a time component of the game, which kind of brings a unique spin on the game. It's definitely worth checking out. It's not a game that everybody would like, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. But I'm also a fan of Squeenix. The visuals on the game are fantastic. The character models kind of are a blend of the traditional Final Fantasy visuals and then kind of dipping into the Final Fantasy Tactics and the Front Mission series kind of graphics as well. But there are lots of different opponents for you to fight. wolves, ogres, orcs, titans. Um, the list goes on and on. So definitely, if you're into the fantasy role playing game and the feudal setting, check it out. Again, I can't say enough about this game. You know, the popular Metacritic and stuff like that rated it as like a 7 out of 10. I think it's more like an 8.5 out of 10, but that's just my own personal taste. So, Deofield Chronicle by Square Enix, please check it out. You won't be disappointed. Okay, so the next game that I want to talk about is actually a callback to one of my all-time favorite games. When I was in college, 100 years ago, there was a strategy series that came out called XCOM. The first one was XCOM UFO Defense, and then there was a sequel called XCOM Terror from the Deep, and I played those games for literally hundreds and hundreds of hours. It was kind of the game that set the standard for tactical RPGs. It really was. You would recruit different soldiers to fight an alien threat, and as you fought against aliens, you would collect their technology, research it, find ways to implement it for your troops, and make your troops tougher and stronger, so that you could defeat the alien threat. Now, a lot of that involved shooting down alien UFOs, raiding alien bases, and protecting civilian populations from alien incursions. What Phoenix Point is the spiritual successor to XCOM, the original '90s era XCOM games. Its lead designer is the same person that pioneered the XCOM universe back in the '90s, and this is his take on XCOM. A lot of the same mechanics. You recruit different soldiers. They have different roles: heavies, rangers, snipers, support. You research different equipment for them, like armor, weapons, tactical weapons, a number of different things, including psionic abilities and different types of technology to fight back the Pandora virus. That's the kind of the take on this game, is that you're trying to save the world from an unknown virus called the Pandora virus. They don't know how it affects people, but it mutates people into these kind of hybrid sea creatures that serve a higher intelligence. Along with the gameplay involved there are different factions that are working either with you or against you to stop or advance the alien threat. And you try to keep the peace between all three of them, because none of the three main main factions want to work together. They don't enjoy fighting with each other, and you have to kind of strike that balance with the peace. Tactical combat is top notch. Every character has a number of action points, and you can boost those as they level up. You can spend skill points and you can spend squad points to make them more effective. There's hundreds of different possible aliens that you're going to fight, but in the process, you have to build up your research facility. You have to build up your military might, and you have to build very important alliances so that you can drive this alien threat back. And each mission that you go on gets progressively more difficult, and your soldiers start to rely on special abilities and special armor that you are able to research and produce from the aliens. It's just a great game. There's a black market involved, which is similar to one of the other XCOM games. And you can actually train your troops in different paths. So they'll all start out with like a generic kind of skill set, and then you can choose what branches you want to develop: sniper, heavy, ranger, that kind of thing, so that they're very specialized. And each class has their own specializations that you can kind of explore and build the perfect squad. It's at one point in the game you get up to have 8 people in your squad, which is kind of a change from traditional tactical RPGs. A lot of them only allow you to have up to 6, or even fewer than that at 4. You know, Phoenix Point allows you to have 8 in your squad once you fully get it researched, along with vehicles and different units along those lines. So if you haven't checked it out, this game is also on PC Game Pass, and it's also on Microsoft Ultimate Game Pass for the Xbox. You should check it out. There's a whole bunch of extensive like add-ons as well that add to the core game and build on the gaming mechanics and make it a much more robust experience if you want to keep playing it. So that's, you know, to me, that is one of the real selling points when you play these games is what kind of add-ons does it come with. And Phoenix Point has, I believe, 4 or 5 separate add-on DLCs that you can enjoy. So check it out. You'll enjoy it. Especially if you're a fan of the original XCOM games, you won't be disappointed. So, now we're gonna talk a little bit about Tactics Ogre Reborn. This game originally, Tactics Ogre, came out before Final Fantasy Tactics, but Final Fantasy Tactics kind of revolutionized the game. But in Tactics Ogre RPG, you're in a world that is at war. You start out as a young soldier named Denim, and you have to build a coalition to kind of end the civil war that's kind of been raging across the world at this point. You have to make alliances with different units. You have to recruit different units to your cause and build the right squad to send into different missions. The art style is very retro. It's very much in the vein of Final Fantasy. Very stylized. A lot of pen and ink or pencil and chalk art style. There's so many different units you can recruit. You can recruit different dragons. You can recruit different monsters of other types to join your ranks, in addition to knights and warriors and wizards and clerics. It's just finding that kind of build or that skill set that works in your group through the early and mid to late game. The other thing that this game has is different professions. You don't like your character being a warrior, you can switch him to a different profession and see how that goes. Or you can replace them with a different unit and see how that fits into your plans. It's been updated from the original Tactics Ogre. It is 4K. The UI is completely streamlined and much more intuitive. All of the dialogue in the game is fully voiced, and the units advance. Typical to tactical RPGs, they have levels that they advance, and they gain new skills based on what level they are. There's a total of 18 different classes, and there's 18 different monster units you can recruit, along with 6 demi-human races, and there are 3 different endings to this game. So you can play it through, get one ending, play it through again, make some different choices, get a different ending, and then play it through another time, make all of these different choices, and get a third ending that's different. Now, in a break from some of the other tactical RPGs, you can lose your units permanently. They can die on the battlefield if you don't go and revive them in a hurry. Now, yes, there is a certain measure of that in XCOM and Phoenix Point. But, typically you don't lose your units in those games unless you're really trying. But in Tactics Ogre, you may only have 2 turns to go and rescue one of your units, and they're all the way across the board. And you may not get to them in time, and then they die, and they leave their items on the battlefield. You can collect them and redistribute them to your army, and then continue on your way. But if you love Final Fantasy Tactics and you love the Tactics Ogre series, this is a faithful reproduction of the Tactics Ogre game, and you should definitely check it out. It's on PlayStation 5. I believe it's on Steam as well, but it has not made its way to the Xbox yet. So bear that in mind if you're looking for a game to play. I don't know what the current price is, but it did release on PlayStation 5 for about $70. I don't know if it's dropped in price or not, so you might want to check on that. And then, of course, you can get it on Steam. The final game I want to talk about is probably, I would argue, it's one of the best tactical RPGs I've ever played. And that is XCOM 2 War of the Chosen. Now, XCOM 2 released in 2017, and it was a no-frills experience. It was kind of a continuation of the original XCOM Enemy Within and XCOM Enemy Unknown games that were released. These are reimaginings of the 90s era games, and they are direct license from the creators of those games. So you have a lot of the same terminology, a lot of the same functions, but this is a 3D game as opposed to a 2D game with a top-down animation. And just like the other games that I've been talking about today, this one you have different functions for different troops. You have psychics. You have there's a group, a splinter group that is soldiers that have rebelled against their alien masters, and then there's also hunters. They're called reapers, and their specialty is snipers. And much like Phoenix Point, you have to kind of appease all of the different factions and get them to work together so that you can defeat the Advent, which is the alien threat. The Advent are kind of an evolution of the aliens from the XCOM Enemy Unknown, XCOM Enemy Within games that were released in the middle 2000s, and the gameplay is essentially the same. Each player or each character in your group has a set number of action points that they can use for attack, overwatch, or movement. Once those are used up, then they have to stay where they're at. There is a lot of different technology they can research and use regarding weapons, armor, grenades, special abilities, psionics, different support units. It's a very robust game. I just actually beat it a few days ago, and I would love to play it again. It's that addictive. It's that fun. There's multiple different difficulty settings that you can enjoy, including Iron Man. So if you lose a unit, you lose them forever. And if you lose a combat or a mission, your game is over. But I'm kind of disappointed. I'm not going to reveal anything unnecessarily, but at the end of XCOM 2, when you do defeat the Avatar project, the game developers alluded to another threat in the XCOM universe, but they never were able to get that game made. Now there are rumors that there is an XCOM 3 under development. I don't know if that's true or just rumor, but if there is an XCOM 3 in development, I will be pre-ordering it as soon as it's available, because all three of the games in the modern XCOM era are worth owning and worth playing. They're absolutely engrossing. The story is fun. The voice acting's a little stiff at times, but you really get to decide how you want to build your XCOM forces and how you want to take on the alien threat. So there's no one-size-fits-all strategy. For me, I liked using heavy units because their armor and weapons were always a little bit more impactful against certain aliens. But if you choose to be a sneak and snipe kind of player, there's room for you there as well. Rangers are absolutely lethal in this game. So, I like to kind of build my force around two heavies and then kind of go from there. And the support units um, to get what I need done for my missions. Again, there's plenty of different units to fight against, from the Advent to the actual alien units to hybrids to there's even zombies in this version of the game, which creates an interesting way to play because you don't know who's going to attack you in a given time or on a given mission. So it always keeps you guessing. So if you're interested in the XCOM universe and you're not sure what your next tactical RPG game is going to be that you are going to play, I strongly recommend XCOM 2 War of the Chosen. You won't be disappointed. Alright, so today I just wanted to play a little bit of Front Mission First. This is a remake that came out on the Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation 5, PC, and the Xbox Series X. I'm playing on the Xbox Series X just because that's where I like to do a lot of my gaming. But I'm into the game a ways now, so I've got quite a few different units that I can look at. Now this is the mechs are actually called Wanzers. That you know, that's just what they're called. And I first got into the Front Mission the Front Mission series with Front Mission 3, which was actually on PlayStation, and it just sucked me in. And then I bought Front Mission 4 for the PlayStation 2, and I've heard rumblings that they're going to re-release Front Mission 2nd at some point. So I'm hoping that they do a remake of that as well. In this menu, when you're at the shop, you can go to the setup, and you can edit your vehicle and all your different pilots' vehicles with different colors, different weapons, different body styles. Now, mine is just green. I wanted to call it Mr. Green, but I wasn't able to. And I just upgraded everything, so I'm broke. If you look down in the lower right corner, you can see I have 64 credits. That's all I have, because I spent all of my money upgrading all of my units. This is a tactical RPG, so as you play the game, your pilots level up and they get better at combat. The military ward section of the game is where you get your missions, and you get to kind of learn what the war is all about. This takes place on Huffman Island, and it's kind of like a battle between two different factions, the UNSC and then I forget what the other one is. I'm sorry, UCS, and then your particular faction. The bar is where you go to meet different pilots. You can talk to they're all potentially recruitable pilots that you can bring into battle when you go to war. And they have different strengths, different ways to pilot their Wanzers. But sometimes it costs you money because they are mercenaries. So we'll just exit out of here, talk to everybody there. You can go to the arena and you can test your pilots and level them up, get XP. And then we'll exit out of here, we'll leave town, and we're going to go to do a mission real quick. Now, this game is very similar to Final Fantasy Tactics. You have an isometric view, as you can see, and there's different things that happen in missions. Now, let's see, what does she say here? Apparently they're visiting a ruined town. going to wager that this person's a recruit. We can recruit this person. Yep. At the end of this battle, we'll be able to recruit Molly. Now, there's multiple different strategies you can apply here. I prefer to... Okay, I can have up to 10 units. I only have 9, so we're going to make do. They've all been upgraded except for one, so I am confident that we will be able to triumph here. So there's my army. We're going to actually work our way to the right and do a loop, because that way we're not getting surrounded. You want to avoid getting surrounded whenever you are in a battle, because it makes things a lot easier for enemies to take you out. This is my repair truck. It allows you to replace different pieces that get damaged, and also reload your weapons. You do run out of ammunition pretty quick in this game. Now there are things you can do to improve your pilot's performance in combat, by equipping better gear, better armor, better weapons, but it takes time. And then as they level up, they get better as well. Now, most of the Wanzers I have are all the same basic blueprint, because I wanted to have the best available builds. You know, we're going to actually send a couple up here to help her. Oh, God, she's going to run right at these people. Alright, well, we'll send a couple more units to help her out, because she's going to be up against 4 or 5 units. Now, if you pay attention while you're in battle, you can, each time you destroy one of the enemy Wanzers, you have a chance at getting some of their gear and adding it to your inventory, which in turn allows you to build up your units and make them more powerful. Now, just like your repair truck, the enemy can use repair trucks as well. So you'll want to kind of take those out if you get an opportunity. And also try and balance your payload between medium and long range. Short range, melee is always the best option. You know, we're going to look over here and see... Is there one over here? Yeah, there's 2 over there. So we're going to go this way. You want to balance your payloads and stuff, so that way you can strike when you need to. He should be able to attack. Yeah, he can. Now we're going to actually attack the carrier, because we want to try and get that out of play as quick as possible. We don't want to give them an opportunity to strike back, as it were. Oh, he does have some stuff that he can attack with. There we go. We're just going to keep our guy right here so that he's not in harm's way. And as they fight in the battle, your pilots get XP, which in turn allows them to level up and get stronger. There's machine guns, there's rifles, there's rail guns, there's grenade launchers, there's rockets, there's missiles. There's a variety of different weapons that you can use. My only gripe with this game is that you can't target specific points on the enemy Wanzers. But your Wanzers are made up of four components: the body, the arms, and the legs. And each component has different strengths and weaknesses. You know, we're gonna actually keep these guys kind of in the middle. There we go. Took out their legs and one of their arms. That's always good. See how they get XP? And then we'll bring this guy over here to flank. Goodbye. Got rid of the repair truck. And we recovered a piece of equipment, which is always good. This is why I like having long range items, because you suck. In close range with this particular weapon that she's carrying, it's better to go melee. Him, we'll just attack. He's got missiles, so we're going to use them. See if we can take this one out. Well, he has no weapons and he has no arms and legs left. She's gonna steal this kill, though. Oh no. But you gotta be mindful of the other units that are on the board at all times, because you can get outnumbered and surrounded in a very, very short amount of time. Molly's about to take a nap. Now, even though she got defeated, we should be able to recruit her at the end. Well, that worked out better for me than I thought. Let's move up here. Ooh, what should I use? We're gonna use this. It's way more accurate. There we go. He's almost done. Let's see if we can take him out. There it is. Another one down. Another one down, and another one down, another one bites the dust. Hey, we're gonna get you too, another one bites the dust. Well, let's see what this does. 31. They're one of their legs. Took out one of their arms, so that's good. What is his range? I don't remember how to he's got a long-range weapon, so we're all right. Dead. Got him. Another one drops. Now, as you can see, my pilots are all between levels 6 and 14, so their abilities to do damage and hit different targets are better than what you would normally start with. Alright, let's go this way and see what we can see. Oh, that guy's... Okay, there's nobody here, so we're going to actually go back this way. Missiles are my friend in this game, and I would strongly suggest that as you're playing, you use missiles as well. Just their accuracy to damage is so much better than... Oh, now she's high enough level that I can actually aim for different wands or parts. Oh, you chose the wrong one, man. You chose the wrong one. Yes, he's called Hulk because I love the Incredible Hulk, and his Wanzer is green for the same reason. You chose poorly. Got rid of his legs. Now, I wish I could get multiple attacks with the same unit. Oh, missed. Missed with the other missile, but I took care of their other arms, so there's not really much they can do. I actually have enough units in reserve now that I don't even have to worry about if my units get defeated. Now, if you don't like where you end up moving, you can hit B button, and it'll move you. You can do your move over again. Got rid of that one. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, charge right into the teeth of my guys. That's great. See, they're going to try and go to the carrier there to get repaired and restocked. So we want to try and avoid that if we can. Because it'll prolong the fight if they are able to get repaired. There we go. We're getting a lot of like items, like repair items and stuff, which makes things a lot easier in this game. It helps you stay in the fight longer. And don't be afraid to play around with the camera angle so you can see the whole battlefield. See if we can take this one out. Yep, there it is. They're running out of units. Whoa, he got 2 attacks. What's up with that? Got rid of his legs, so he's not going to be mobile. There we go. Now they only have 2 units left for me to defeat. And we just got another weapon, which is kind of nice. Let's see here. Okay, so all they have left is the carrier truck. I don't know if they're going to surrender or no, they're going to try and fight to the death, I guess. Oh no. He's just going to turtle until we destroy him. They're not without gear. As far as defense, they have a little machine gun, but it doesn't really do anything. There's a lot of moving that needs to take place when you're on your turn and you have several Wanzers to move around. So it does take a couple minutes, but overall, it's kind of fun to see how this game fits into the history of tactical RPGs. We're just going to try and finish this right here. Are you serious? Come on. Like, cover was not so much of an issue in this game. I mean, you do get some cover, but it's not like the XCOM games or the Phoenix Point games where cover is kind of really vital for your units to survive. Okay. Oh, see, so she just joined the squad because she wants to see my main character die, not because she wants to help. And this is how you get money for upgrades and whatnot. At the end of the battle, you collect money. So, all right, we'll enter town. So that was just the scouting mission. Boy, she really does not like my main character. Oh boy, here we go. So now, in this case, we're gonna go to the shop, and we're gonna upgrade Molly's Wanzer because her Wanzer is not a good situation here. Let's see here. We want. Where the heck is hers? There it is. So we're going to upgrade this to a much better vehicle. Okay, so we're going to go with that one. You want to try and match your sets too, because you get better bonuses. What is this? Okay. Yeah, we'll go with that one. Ooh, better backpack, eh? Yeah, we'll go with that one. Why not? Now let's get her some better weapons, because her weapon is garbage. Want to get something with decent accuracy and decent damage. And then in her left hand, we'll give her 32. Now we're going to go with this. There we go. She's all set. Cost me about $4,000, but it is $4,000 well spent. Now we're going to paint her like the other ones. And we should be good. We're going to name it something other than Tommy, though. Where is... There it is. Get it? Molly Hatchet. Alright. So that is kind of the basics of Front Mission First. Like I said, if you want to check it out, I think it's like $40 on Xbox Series X, or if you want to get it on the Switch, I think it's $40 for that as well. I don't know if it's available on PC, but I do know that you can also get it for PlayStation 5. That's all I got for this week. I'm going to skip the suggestion box this week. There's just so much going on in my world right now. I don't even know where to start. But I will be back with episode 6 next week, and we will be talking action RPGs. I'm looking forward to that one because there's some overlap between action RPGs and stealth RPGs. So we'll be talking about a few of my favorite games in that genre as well. With that, as I always say, be safe, be kind, and remember, no matter who you are, no matter where you are, you do matter, and somebody loves you. Take it easy, everybody, and we'll talk to you next week.